All right, let's set the scene, because this isn't just another press release or a quiet rotation adjustment. This is the moment the season shifts. The Indiana Fever, bruised and bloodied from weeks of scraping together lineups with tape, grit, and sheer willpower, just got their ace back. And not a moment too soon. Caitlin Clark is officially returning. Coach Stephanie White has confirmed it. Fans are vibrating. Opponents? Nervous. And honestly,
if you're here for the real story and not the filtered version, subscribe. And if you're sticking around for the next meltdown, you better definitely subscribe.
who could blame them? Clark isn't just a talented rookie. She's a force multiplier, a walking momentum swing. The kind of player who doesn't just win games, she changes them. And now, she's stepping back into a Fever team that desperately needs saving. Let's not sugarcoat it. The last few weeks have been brutal. Sophie Cunningham and Lexie Hull both sidelined. R.A. McDonald out. Lineups shuffled like a deck of worn cards. And while the remaining players have fought like hell, seriously, shout out to Kelsey Mitchell for carrying the offensive load with ice in her veins. This team has been operating on fumes. Lexie Hull, black eye and all, symbolized that old-school toughness. She took hits, got back up, and kept pushing. But even warriors need reinforcements. Enter Caitlin. Her return doesn't just plug a talent gap. It changes everything. Her gravity on the court, the way defenders stretch to cover her logo threes, the way she sees passing lanes that most guards don't even know exist, completely reshapes the Fever's offense. Suddenly, Aaliyah Boston gets more space to operate in the paint. Mitchell doesn't have to take every crunch time shot. Role players can actually play their roles again. Clark's presence also brings something you can't chart on a stat sheet: hope. For weeks, the energy around the Fever has felt tense, like everyone was just trying to survive. Now, there's electricity, not just because of her skill, but because of what she represents. She represents a shot at the playoffs. She represents a rallying point. She represents the idea that, yes, this season can still be something special. And you better believe the league is watching closely. Clark boosts ticket sales. She boosts ratings. She boosts relevance. Her comeback is more than a strategic chess move for the Fever. It's a league-saving injection of adrenaline. But let's be real. This isn't just about what she can do with the ball. It's about what she stood for while she was off the court. When Lexie Hull got elbowed and the refs swallowed their whistles, Clark was the first to erupt. Her fire, her refusal to play nice, her demand for fairness, that was leadership. It wasn't about showboating. It was about protecting her team. That's the Caitlin Clark you want in a playoff push. Not just a scorer, but a tone setter. A disruptor. A player who rallies a fractured squad and says, "Follow me. We're not done yet." Her return won't be flawless. There will be rust. The rhythm will take a minute. But the bigger picture, the psychological lift, that kicks in immediately. It tells the locker room, we've got our general back. It tells the fans, keep showing up. This is about to get good. And it tells the league, get ready. Because the Fever aren't just limping toward the finish line anymore. They're coming for it. With Clark back, the postseason isn't a long shot. It's a mission. And the mission is clear. Finish strong. Silence the doubters. And remind everyone why this rookie isn't just the face of a team. She might be the future of the whole damn league. Absolutely. Let's keep going right here in chat. Because if Caitlin Clark's return is a movie, we're in Act 2, the comeback. The music's swelling. The crowd is rising. And the stakes? They've never been higher. The moment she steps back onto that court, every camera locks in. The arena doesn't just cheer. It erupts. It's not just applause for a returning player. It's the sound of hope being reignited. You can feel it. The tension, the release, the anticipation. Because this isn't just Caitlin Clark clocking minutes. This is Caitlin Clark taking back the spotlight. The league has missed her, not just because of her shot-making or her passing vision, but because she's the heartbeat. She's the chaos magnet, the catalyst, the rookie-turned-rock star who turns every possession into theater. And Indiana? They've been trying to keep the lights on without her. But now, they've got their headliner back. Let's talk team dynamics for a second, because this isn't a simple plug-and-play. Caitlin's return doesn't just give the Fever a scoring boost. It resets the entire identity of the team. The ball moves differently when she's on the floor. Defenses panic earlier. Shooters get more space. Screens actually mean something because defenders have to respect her range. There's a ripple effect that touches every player on that court, and it's immediate. You think Aaliyah Boston didn't circle this date in red ink? She's been battling double and triple teams without the spacing Clark provides. You think Kelsey Mitchell isn't ready to be the Robin to Clark's Batman again, finally free from being the only shot creator on the floor? The whole squad feels that shift, from desperation to momentum. And look, let's not ignore the elephant in the room, the injury chaos. Sophie Cunningham is out. Lexie Hull is nursing bruises that look like they belong in a hockey locker room. Ari McDonald has barely seen the floor. It's been a game of musical chairs with the rotation, and somehow they've managed to stay in the hunt. But in the hunt is different from a threat. Caitlin Clark turns them into a threat. Now imagine the opposing teams prepping for Indiana. You thought you could relax a little, maybe exploit their patchy depth, pressure their ball handlers, clog the paint. But now you've got a plan for her. Again, you have to chase her off the logo. You have to trap her at half court. You have to live in fear of a no-look pass that splits two defenders like a magic trick. And the best part? She knows you're scared, and she loves it. See, Caitlin Clark doesn't just thrive under pressure. She creates it. She makes your best defenders look mortal. She makes coaches burn timeouts they didn't plan on using. She makes fans scream, refs twitch, and highlight reels explode before the ball even leaves her hand. That's what the Fever have been missing. And now, it's back. And don't get it twisted. This isn't about stat padding. This is about survival. This is about playoff basketball. And Clark is walking in with the kind of urgency that only comes from missing the grind. She's watched her teammates bleed for every bucket, take elbow after elbow, get calls missed and bodies banged up. And now she's here to make sure all that pain wasn't for nothing. You better believe she's not walking into these games for fun. She's walking in with a score to settle. The critics? Oh, they've been loud. Too loud. She's not built for the pros. She's a liability on defense. She got exposed. The takes have been flying faster than her step back. But Clark? She's not clapping back on social media. She's doing it on the court. Every three she hits will be a rebuttal. Every assist will be a mic drop. Every win will be a statement. And she knows the league needs it. Let's be honest. Without Clark, the WNBA has felt muted. Not bad, but missing that spark. Ratings dipped. Interest wavered. Clips didn't go as viral. Because, like it or not, Caitlin Clark is good for business. And her return? It's not just a basketball story. It's a cultural moment. Because this isn't just about one player's return from injury. This is about the weight of expectation. The burden of being the face of a franchise, a league, a movement. And the fact that she doesn't shrink from that pressure. She embraces it. That's rare. That's electric. That's box office. She's not just playing for Indiana. She's playing for every fan who bought a ticket just to see her in action. She's playing for every young athlete who finally saw someone like them on a billboard. She's playing for every critic who thought they could write her off after one rough month. And make no mistake, this run to the postseason, it's personal. Clark's not just coming back to compete. She's coming back to flip the script. From overhyped rookie to rookie of the year. From injury setback to league savior. From question mark to exclamation point. And if she pulls it off, if she rallies this battered team into a playoff spot, if she lights up arenas and leaves defenders in the dust, then this won't just be a comeback. It'll be a legend. So buckle up, because the second she steps onto that court, everything changes. The pace, the noise, the energy, the belief. The Indiana Fever just got their spark back. The league just got its storyline back. And Caitlin Clark? She's not just back in uniform. She's back on a mission. Let the second act begin. Let's keep it rolling, because this story is just heating up. Caitlin Clark's return doesn't feel like a mid-season adjustment. It feels like a reckoning. Like the basketball gods finally decided, okay, you've suffered long enough. Let's shake things up. And shake, it absolutely will. Because here's the thing. When Caitlin's on the court, nothing is predictable. 1 minute, she's drawing a double team near the logo. The next, She's slinging a laser to a cutting Boston, who finishes with an easy 2. Then boom, steal, fast break, pull up 3. Crowd goes feral. Timeout called. And just like that, the game flips. It's not just a boost, it's basketball chaos in the best way possible. And trust me, teams are terrified of it. Because it's one thing to prep for a team with balance and discipline. It's another thing entirely to prep for a player who can break your scheme with one pass. Clark isn't just executing plays. She's creating new geometry on the floor. Angles that shouldn't exist. Shots that should be impossible. She's warping the game in real time. But let's zoom out for a second. Let's talk about the emotional weight behind this return. Because when you think about everything this team has endured, injuries, lopsided officiating, roster shuffles, losing streaks, it's easy to understand why fans are beginning to wonder if this season was already slipping away. And maybe it was. Until now. Because with Clark back, that narrative, it changes. Completely. The Indiana Fever are no longer just the team that almost got it together. They're the team with unfinished business. And you better believe that locker room feels it. Do you know how powerful it is for a team to look around and see their leader back in the huddle? The one who shouts louder, runs harder, and demands more from everyone, including herself? It's transformational. That kind of presence can't be coached. It can't be substituted. It's rare. And when it walks back into the arena with fire in its eyes and something to prove, well, you're about to see some scared defenses. And yes, critics are going to keep talking. They'll pick apart her percentages, her turnovers, her body language, whatever they can find to undermine the story. But Clark doesn't play for critics. She plays for impact. And her impact? It's undeniable. Look at the numbers. Look at the sold-out arenas. Look at the fact that a regular season WNBA game is suddenly headline news just because she's playing again. You don't get that kind of pull unless you're doing something special. But the real magic? It's not the scoring. It's the defiance. The way she carries herself with that chip on her shoulder. The unspoken dare in her eyes that says, yeah, come double me. Let's see how that works out. And what's more, she backs it up. This return isn't cautious. It's not tentative. It's not getting her feet wet. It's Clark walking back in a battle with that signature fire, ready to drag this team across the finish line if she has to. Because when you look at what's left of this Fever roster, it's not a picture of strength on paper. Sophie's gone. Lexie is playing through what looks like a UFC fight record. Aries' recovery is still TBD. There's no big 3 anymore. There's Caitlin, and a dream. But dreams don't die in Indiana. They dig in. They get up. They fight. And now, with Clark back, there's real belief that this underdog team might do something wild. Make the playoffs? That's step 1. Shock a top seed? Don't rule it out. Because with Caitlin back at the helm, the possibilities open wide. And that's the part teams hate. They want predictability. Structure. Something they can plan for. Clark? She's the exact opposite. She's a wild card with a laser scope. She'll drop 11 points in 2 minutes just to prove a point. She'll pull from 35 feet just because you looked at her funny. She's not playing chess or checkers. She's rewriting the entire board. And then there's the energy she brings. Let's talk about that for a second. You can feel it ripple through the crowd the second she touches the ball. People literally lean forward in their seats when she crosses half court. It's like they're holding their breath, waiting for the fireworks. And 9 times out of 10, she delivers. That kind of electricity isn't just good for the Fever. It's good for the entire league. Because every WNBA team right now, every GM, every player, every coach is watching this return with wide eyes. And they're not just scouting tape. They're watching the future. Because like it or not, Caitlin Clark is the blueprint now. Marketable, charismatic, dangerous. She's what happens when hype meets hustle. And her return proves that she's not a one-season flash. She's not just a trending topic. She's here to dominate. But let's not pretend this ride will be smooth. The pressure is real. Every possession will be scrutinized. Every missed shot will be a tweet storm. Every win or loss will feed the narrative machine. But you know what Caitlin Clark does better than almost anyone? She thrives in chaos. She's not scared of it. She is it. And that's what makes her return so monumental. Because she's not walking into a perfect situation. She's walking into a broken one. And she's doing it with the intention to fix it, uplift it, and maybe, just maybe, rewrite the ending. This isn't just a redemption arc. It's a declaration that injuries won't define this season, that the doubters won't get the final word, that the Fever, despite everything, still have something to say. And it starts with her. So as we head into this next stretch of games, there's one thing you can count on. Eyes will be on Indiana, because Caitlin Clark is back. The lights are on. The script is flipping. And the rest of the league? They better hope they're ready, because this rookie just became a problem again. Let's keep the momentum going, because we've entered the most dangerous phase of any underdog story, the part where the hero wakes up. Caitlin Clark isn't just back in uniform. She's back with a purpose. And anyone paying attention knows what that really means. It means the league just ran out of excuses. See, for weeks, pundits and analysts got real comfortable with the idea that the Fever were toast, that their Cinderella run had already hit midnight, that the magic had worn off. The injuries piled up. The referees swallowed their whistles. The rotations were patchwork at best. And with Clark sidelined, Indiana looked like a team just trying to stay upright, not sprint into the postseason. But what nobody accounted for was this. Clark hates unfinished business. And if you thought she was going to sit back and let her rookie season spiral into a narrative about what could have been, you don't know Caitlin Clark. She's not here to watch the storm. She's here to be the storm. And her return isn't just exciting. It's a strategic earthquake. Think about the ripple effects. Every team currently jockeying for playoff position just felt the ground shift under their feet because they thought they had time. Time to bank wins while Indiana limped along. Time to firm up seeding while the Fever tried to keep morale from totally imploding. But now, that window has slammed shut because Clark is back, and she's not coming to participate. She's coming to wreak havoc. Let's be real. The next few games, they're make or break. This isn't a gentle ramp-up to get her rhythm back. This is a pressure cooker. Every game is playoff caliber. Every quarter matters. And Clark knows it. She knows the math. She knows the narrative. She knows the spotlight is brutal. And she's choosing to walk back into it. Not everyone would. Plenty of stars would stay safe on the sidelines. Wait until next season. Avoid the risk of rain jury or rust. But not her. Because to Clark, this is bigger than just one season. It's about setting the tone for her entire career. And what's that tone? Accountability. Fire. Legacy. She's not here for the applause. She's here for impact. And make no mistake, she's going to get it. The moment she steps back onto that floor, defenders will crowd her 30 feet from the basket. Coaches will game plan around her again. Cameras will zoom in on her every move. ESPN will run slow-motion highlight reels of her tying her shoes if they have to. Because she moves the needle. She's the kind of athlete that makes everything feel like a moment. And that's rare. Now here's where things get even juicier. Let's talk about the emotional undercurrent of this return. She's not coming back to a perfect team. This isn't some fully healthy top 3 squad with all the tools in place. She's coming back to a wounded army. To teammates who've been holding it down with one hand tied behind their back. Kelsey Mitchell has been playing 35 minutes a night with defensive pressure that would have cracked lesser players. Lexie Hull is literally bruised and bandaged like she just walked off a movie set. Sophie Cunningham? Gone. Ari McDonald? Still sidelined. So no, this isn't some glorious homecoming to a stacked squad. This is Caitlin Clark returning to the trenches. But that's exactly why it matters. Because if she can take this version of the Fever, battered, bruised, and doubted, and drag them into playoff contention, that's not just a win. That's mythology. That's how legends are built. That's how you go from great rookie to franchise icon. And don't underestimate how much that means to the city of Indianapolis. Because these fans, they've been starving for something to believe in. And for a few brief weeks earlier in the season, they thought they had it. They thought maybe, just maybe, this team was the spark. And then came the injuries, the no-calls, the collapse. But now, Clark's return isn't just about basketball. It's about rebuilding belief. And she knows it. You can see it in the way she's carrying herself, the way she speaks in pressers. No excuses, no drama, just laser focus. She's not here to play savior. She's here to ignite a fire. Because here's what's really at stake. If Caitlin Clark leads this team into the postseason, despite injuries, officiating controversies, and every logistical nightmare imaginable, then she doesn't just silence the critics. She owns the narrative. The overrated talk disappears. The can she survive the league's physicality chatter vanishes. And what's left? Respect. Earned, not gifted. And once that happens, the league isn't just watching Clark. The league is revolving around her. She becomes the blueprint, the brand, the moment. And maybe that's been the point all along. Because from the moment she entered the league, she's been fighting to prove that she wasn't just hype, that she wasn't just a college phenom, that she could take punches, literal and metaphorical, and still show up ready to dominate. And now she's got the opportunity. The Fever have games left, winnable ones, gritty ones, and every single one of them now has a spotlight because Clark is back. There's no more hiding. Not for the Fever, not for the league, not for the critics. This stretch, it's going to define something. Whether it's the start of a historic playoff push or just a glimpse at what's coming next season, that part's still unwritten. But here's what is certain. Caitlin Clark isn't running from the pressure. She's running straight into it. And for the first time in weeks, the Indiana Fever don't look like a team barely surviving. They look like a team about to rise. So yeah, the comeback is real. But the story? The story is just getting good.